I am Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine. I am the most prestigious woman of my time. I married 2 kings and had 2 sons that turned out to be kings. Richard was put in the throne after my husband Henry, because Henry went on. But then poor Richard died. Oh yes, and then my second son, he took over the throne after Richard. I, John, pronounce myself king. Since then, we have found out that John is the worst military leader ever. Charge! Well, John was forced by the English noblemen to sign the Magna Carta. You don't know what the Magna Carta is? Well, the Magna Carta is a document that limits the king's powers and also gives more rights to the citizens. This document got John into a lot of trouble. But in even more trouble John got, that was Philip from France, my home country. But Philip, he kind of, conquered John.
Back, I say! This is my land now! Give me the crown.
So, Philippe, how long did it actually take you to conquer England?
Well, it took quite a while. First there was Henry. He was tough. It was impossible to beat him. And then his son, Richard, came into view. But he died very young. So then his brother, John, came. And I beat him very easily.
That is when France came into the picture and I went out. Now that we are in France, we might as well talk to the king, Philip II himself. An interview. So, King Philippe, how old were you when you became king?
I was quite young, age 15. I earned the name Augustus, which means majestic. I also increased France's territory and established bailiffs to collect taxes from districts.
Ooh. And now we are on to the next king, who just happens to be Philip II's grandson, who is Louis IX. Louis was very pious and very saintly, and being so saintly, he was later dubbed a saint by the Catholic Church once he died. But he was also known as the most ideal king. King Louis IX also created the French Appeals Court, which could overturn the decisions of the local courts, which in turn strengthened the monarchy. And yet again, we're on to our next king, Philip IV. And when he started ruling, it was a long time before he got into a fight with the Pope, which was in 1302.
The laws include everyone. Everyone has to pay taxes.
But not my priests. They're the exception. Because of the fight between Philip IV and the Pope, the Estates General was formed. The Estates General is formed of the first estate, which is the church officials. The second estate is the highest noblemen and lords. And the third estate was later added, which forms of the peasants. Now the peasants of the third estate became the major key for the overthrowing of the monarchy. This ends the 14th century, which was filled with turmoil of religious disputes, plagues, and wars. But it also ends our section, 14.3.
The Pope is in rule of all!
No, the king is!
This means war!